my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Somuayina and I would like to welcome you into the fam. If you've been feeling indecisive, anxious, or unmotivated about your future, then this is the perfect video for you, because in today's pick a card readings, we're going to figure out exactly what is going to impact your life next and precisely in which way your life is going to be affected. We will be discussing the good, the bad, and the magical. So if you're ready to receive divine and sacred information from the universe or your guides, simply pick one of these 4 groups. And once you've chosen one of these 4 groups, you can simply scroll down into the description box as well as the comment section and click the corresponding timestamp, and you'll be fast forwarded to your reading. So the 4 groups that I have prepared for you today are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Celestine as well as the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. Group number 2 corresponds to the Amethyst as well as the Starseed Oracle deck. Group number 3 corresponds to the Orange Calcite as well as the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. And group number 4 corresponds to the Black Tourmaline as well as the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. But all decks will be linked down below in the description box for you to check out at your convenience. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of privacy right now to pick your group. So by now, you've hopefully made up your mind as to which group that you would like to go with. I will be starting the readings off with the first group, which corresponds to the Celestine as well as the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck as well as the Celestine. So let me get you acquainted with your crystal firstly. So this is the Celestine. It comes in this beautiful, beautiful baby blue hue. This is a gorgeous, very calming stone. It is very fitting for any of you who suffer from chronic anxiety or just overall a lot of fears. Let's move on to the deck that you chose. So this is the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. This is the beautiful box that it comes in. This is by Amanda Lovelace, and let me tell you, this is one of my new favorites. I will leave this deck linked down below in case you are an Oracle deck collector or you are just looking for a beautiful deck to add to your collection. Amanda has a lot of other magical content, especially when it comes to literature. I will leave her Instagram link down below. She's definitely worth following, so I'm so excited to premiere this deck in one of my readings. So let's get straight into it to figure out what is going to impact your life, shall we? So first and foremost, we have morning. So one thing that I can see here is that your mornings are crucial, and the way that you plan your mornings, that is one thing that the universe wants you to look at with more precision, group number 1. This is especially for any of you who frequently have very chaotic mornings, okay? So think waking up just shortly before you have to leave the house or before you actually need to hop on the train or get into your car and go to work or wherever it is that you're called to be. I can see here in morning that it's so essential for you to optimize your morning routine or even develop a morning routine to begin with. A lot of us don't have morning routines, and we fail to realize how much of an impact this has not only on the day but also our success in the future. Because if you win the morning, you win the day. That is just one of those things that undoubtedly goes hand in hand with success, and planning a successful morning is something that you should do the night before in order to avoid last minute changes so that you know exactly what you're doing when, and you can just set yourself on autopilot. Next up, we have the Clover. So I can see here in the Clover that releasing guilt from any mornings that you've kind of that you've kind of messed up, group number 1. I'm just going to be honest with you. So if you have a guilty conscience for not getting up as early as you would want to, not working out, not cultivating a healthy morning routine, or just overall a routine that you feel satisfied with or that makes you proud, this can come with a lot of guilt. And this is something that I definitely can relate to, group number 1. Feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like you're self-sabotaging, but at the same time, it can be so hard to get those covers off or to listen to that alarm and to not click the snooze button. And when it's come to that point, it is important for you to firstly release your guilt before you can start to build and cultivate a healthier morning that will bring you more success and that will make you feel like the world truly is your oyster every single day, because you deserve it, group number one. You do not need to continue feeling in the mornings like you're tired, lethargic, or like, oh, this is just going to be another difficult day, or starting your morning with guilt even for already getting up too late or already not working out. Release that guilt and tell yourself that in order to do better, you need to change something. You need to get excited about waking up. You need to do something in the morning, first and foremost, that makes you feel like getting up. Because of course, if you don't want to work out, who wants to get up? Who wants to take off those warm covers? Who wants to not hit the snooze button? You're not alone, group number one. We all struggle with this, but you can make a real difference for yourself, and you can have a real impact on your life, not just for the next few days or weeks, but this is a lifelong impact that you can have if you wake up every day enthusiastic and allowing yourself to start the day feeling like a winner, because you truly are a winner, baby. Next up, we have gray. So one thing that I do see here in gray is that there is some sort of ending that is coming towards you, but in conjunction to what we were talking about and refining how you begin each and every single day, I do definitely see that this relates to the ending of week morning routines and rituals, group number one. Okay, you have to end that in order for life to have the most positive impact, in order for your new habits to have the most positive impact on your mental state and on your feelings. So I do see here in gray that these endings are inevitable in order to have a positive type of impact take place in your life. You can't continue with this routine or this cycle. Maybe it worked at one point, or maybe it was okay for a little moment in time, but group number one, you specifically are being called to look at how you start your days and improving that crucial time every single morning. Next up, we have the Four of Pentacles. So in the Four of Pentacles, I can see here that in a sense, this is scaring you because of course it will cost time. And if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time, anything that seems like it will take up more of your precious time, it can cause real anxiety and fear, because you feel like, well, I won't get as much sleep if I wake up earlier, or I don't have the time to do the things that I need to get done. So how will I have time to meditate or to work out or to wake up in the morning and make a healthy meal first and foremost so I can feel good about myself? Well, group number one, the proof is in the pudding. The most successful business people, entrepreneurs, artists, and so on, they follow routines that suit them, and that in turn creates a lot more of an effective mindset and effective energy. Just think about how much time that you can spend procrastinating when you're uninspired to do something, or when you kind of feel stressed to the point that you don't even know where to begin. Often we spend so much time procrastinating that if we just spent less time working, but just spent the time that we were working in a very effective and productive, energetic realm, we could get just as much done, if not even more. So, for example, just being at work for 8 hours a day, but not really being productive for those 8 hours. Now, compare that to being at work for just 5 hours, but for 5 hours feeling inspired, feeling like you're getting progress done, and then going home and knowing that you still have more time left than if you were just sitting there for 8 hours. So just look at things that way, in a way that being effective is worth so much more than seeing, okay, I have to spend an extra half hour every morning to set myself up for success. In the long run, that extra half hour that you're giving yourself is going to pay itself back tenfold, group number one. Next up, we have the Ace of Cups. So in the Ace of Cups, I can see here that something that's going to impact your life soon is a new relationship. The Ace is always a symbol of a new beginning, and the Ace of Cups is one that shows up when a new relationship is on the horizon, happen when a new person is about to come into your life and impact your life in some way, shape, or form. So let's figure out a little bit more about this situation, group number one, and who this person is, shall we? So we have the World. Okay, this is the most favorable card of the tarot, group number one, and I do see here in correspondence to the Ace of Cups that this person is going to make you feel fulfilled and like you have everything that you've ever wanted. So if you are single, look out for your twin flame, your soulmate. You definitely have this sort of moment in time where the stars align and you're able to meet this person. And if you are in a relationship, I do want you to know here in the Ace of Cups that this feeling of fulfillment and feeling of deep satisfaction and happiness with yourself is something that's going to impact your life sooner rather than later, and just give you more motivation to look at your morning routine, optimize it, and make sure that it fits the person who you're striving to become at this very point in time. Next up, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So in the Nine of Pentacles, I can see that you're reaching a new financial high or plateau soon. So group number one, it would definitely make sense for you to look around and see what other options that there are for your job or for your career in general, okay, your professional life, how you can grow and how you can continue to kind of be in a place that you feel proud of and that excites you and that gives you that extra jolt in the morning and that extra kind of energy that you need and that extra motivation that you need to get yourself out of bed and feel excited for the day and feel excited to get ready. So in the Nine of Pentacles, planning ahead is going to help you a lot when it comes to that. Next up, we have Choose Love. So group number one, in Choose Love, I can see here that it's important for you to remind yourself that you always have a choice, because when it comes to, for example, our jobs, if we feel bored or the job has become repetitive or it's just overall not as exciting, we often tend to see things in a more dim light than necessary. So I do want you to know here in Choosing Love that that can impact your life so much more than you ever expected. And by choosing love, your guides mean that you always have a choice. You always have a choice to see things as a lesson, or for example, as an opportunity, or as a sign from the universe that maybe it is time to move on. So when you're realizing that a job or just overall a connection to another human being isn't fulfilling you or isn't what it used to be, choose to act from a place of love. So rather than getting sad or being afraid of what is to come next if you leave your current position, see this as an opportunity. You've conquered, you've grown, and for the amount of time that you were there, it served your purpose. But now you need to move into a different direction. You need to move into a different playing field because you've outgrown where you once felt comfortable or where you once felt challenged. And that is a natural thing that occurs when we grow and when we evolve. And everybody who truly cares about you and should truly matter in your life is going to be in full support of your growth, group number one. Keep that in mind. Next up, we have Turn On Your Heart Light. So in turning on your heart light, I can see here that you're being called to reflect on a time when you experienced what you're going through right now. Because group number one, this is not a completely new or unique situation. You have experienced this point in time in the past, just with different people, different situations, different circumstances at a different period in your life. But nevertheless, this is another cycle where you need to learn to grow. And one thing that I can see here in Turn On Your Heart Light is that reflecting on a time where you experienced what it was like to love yourself first and make the best decision for you first turned out to be the inevitable stepping stone to where you wanted to go. Just think back at when you, for example, realized that a relationship with a friend or a romantic partner just wasn't for you or just wasn't serving you, and how much of a positive impact in the end that had in your life, or how much your life took a turn for the better, even though at the beginning it seemed scary or it seemed like this whole thing may blow up in your face. So that is what your guides are trying to get you to remember and to look at, group number one. So So make sure that you reflect on this time where you experienced self-love and where you experienced you putting yourself first, in the end, turning out for the better, and use that as the needed strength to potentially cut ties with situations that aren't serving you right now or aren't impacting you positively, group number 1. Let's move further into your readings. So, next up, we have true love. Group number 1, your reading is truly filled with love, twin flame energies, soulmate energy. I can see here that this love is once in a lifetime that you're going to experience, and that's going to impact your life sooner rather than later, group number 1. So I do see here in the Ace of Cups, we have this fresh emotional beginning that is coming towards you, as well as the World, which speaks for that fulfillment, that happiness, feeling like there's nothing that you would like and don't already have in your life, and just feeling very content with the outcomes around you. I can see here in true love that this is just another sign. This completely solidifies the messages from your guides, from the universe, of you finding that forever love, that true love, and for you to remind yourself, group number 1, that your time has come, and love is going to impact your life in the most magical way, and the impact that you can have on your life in the most magical way that you can implement is to take charge and take care of ensuring that you start the day off on the most positive, productive, as well as motivating and inspiring note possible. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you found this reading insightful, that it motivated you, and that you're going to leave this video feeling better than when you tuned in. So if that is all the case, make sure that you leave a little flame emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you watched your full reading. Furthermore, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. It's free, easy, and that way you will never miss any more messages from your guides or the universe that you are meant to receive. So group number 1, know that I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for spending this divine time with me, and I'll catch you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst in conjunction to the Starseed Oracle deck. Let me get you acquainted with the energies of the Amethyst so you can really feel its vibration through the screen and familiarize yourself with the stone of your choice today. So this is the beautiful Amethyst. I'm wearing tons of Amethyst jewelry today. As you can see, we're twinning. I'll leave the link to the Amethyst as well as this Amethyst jewelry down below in the description box for you to check out. This is a stone that helps bring out your intuition as well as your psychic abilities, group number 2, which may be why you ended up choosing it, but maybe you just also love its look. Now, this is the Starseed Oracle deck, and this is truly one of my favorite decks, so I'm excited to get right into your reading, starting off with this beautiful deck. Amazing choice, group number 2. First and foremost, we have the Empathic Starseed. We're talking about energetic sovereignty as well as absorbing what's not yours. So group number 2, it is essential for you to be very cautious as to who you invite into your life and what this person's energy is like. What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? And do you like their energy? Because if you don't like their energy, but you're still hanging out with them, chances are they are impacting you in a negative way, or they may be holding you back. So this is where you're meant to look out for what type of impact that other people's energies have on your life, group number 2. Because you are an empath, you are someone who struggles with energetic sovereignty, so it is important for you to empower yourself to say no to making plans with people where hanging out with them makes you feel more energetically low, depleted, tired, and fatigued than actually feeling energized, motivated, and supported. Okay, it is important for you to note that every single soul that you come in contact with has an impact on your life. They have an impact on your spirit, and to be very picky and choosy, because you are someone who absorbs other people's energies and is affected by other people's energies more deeply than most. Next up, we have the Star Keepers. So group number 2 in the Star Keeper, I can see your cosmic ancestors trying to talk to you through this reading. I can see here that staying grounded grounded is something that is important to you, and you never want to cut ties with people who you feel have been in your life for a long time, because one thing that I can also see here is fear of being called an imposter, fear of being called someone who is a hypocrite. And in conjunction to the Star Keeper, I do want you to know here that your cosmic ancestors are communicating to you that taking control of who you spend your time with is essential, and ignoring any type of negativity that comes out of it is something that you need to learn. Because if you stay trapped in relationships or in dysfunctional energetic vibrations that do not serve you, group number 2, then it will have a lasting long-term impact that you're going to regret. Okay, you're going to feel like, oh, I should have just left this group of people, or I should have just not worried about what others may think of me way earlier in time. Okay, staying grounded also means being grounded enough to tell yourself when you've had enough of a certain type of energy or vibe or group of friends and you've outgrown that situation and you now need to move on to bigger, greater ventures. Next up, we have You're Not For Everyone, and that is exactly what we were just venturing into, group number 2. So here in You're Not For Everyone, you do have to face your truth, and this is something that will impact you in a way that will make you become so much more self-aware, group number 2. You realizing that yes, not everyone is going to like you is something that can be very hard if you're a people pleaser especially. But you're being called here to embrace your weirdness, as that is going to impact you in the most positive way in an energetic sense, and is going to allow you to be okay with the fact that not everybody is going to agree with your decisions, your values, or your feelings overall, but that's okay. As long as you're embracing yourself and you're facing your true north and you're living your truth, that's all that matters. Next up, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So group number 2, I can definitely see here that some financial or material abundance is going to impact your life in the best way possible. Now, this could be a raise at your job or a promotion, or just overall having like an extra nest egg that you didn't expect to grow so quickly, all of a sudden have amassed to something that makes you feel a lot more like you can lay back and relax about your finances and where you are on a material basis. Also, if you've been looking to make a bigger investment, a large investment such as putting money down for a house or a vehicle, overall something a bit bigger but that will serve you in the long run, I can see here in the 10 of Pentacles that it is a favorable time for you to put in offers, as you're most likely going to be accepted during a time where you're being open, honest, and actually facing your true north and embracing your weirdness. Next up, we have the Hierophant reversed. I can see here in the Hierophant reversed, group number 2, that when it comes to spiritual growth, you're kind of in a place where you're a bit on a plateau, okay, and you're just allowing the lessons that you have learned over the past few days and weeks to seep in and to truly solidify. We cannot constantly be taking in new information and directly applying it to our lives. If you've ever had to, for example, study for an exam or just like a really big test, or you've taken in a huge chunk of information, you may find that it takes a few weeks or even months for it to truly hit you to where you think like, oh, now it all makes sense. Now you can see the connection and everything. And that is what I can see here in the Hierophant that's happening sort of like in the background. That's why the Hierophant is showing up reversed. So it's a very covert way of processing information and it coming to that culmination, to that epiphany, enlightenment, and aha moment. So give things time, even if it doesn't look like you're making huge progress on the surface when it comes to your spirituality. I can see here in the 5 of Cups, group number 2, that this may leave you feeling a little bit discouraged, okay? This may leave you feeling a little bit like you want to grow and you want to get to that next place, but right now you're still in your current location and in your current realm of consciousness and you feel kind of alone. It may be like feeling like you're in a weird in-between place because you're learning that some people aren't your true friends, or how even family can sometimes be less supportive than strangers on the internet, and that can make you feel very alone. And like, what you want is to just really get to a place where there are other people who vibe with you and who understand what you're going through, and like that change just can't come quickly enough. But do know here in the Hierophant reverse that good things take time, and especially when it comes to spiritual development, group number 2, this is something that often happens in the background and is attached to some form of solitude and being alone in this process. Next up, we have the Moon. Group number 2, the Moon is a beautiful card that connects to your intuition in the strongest way possible, which is most likely also why you ended up choosing the Amethyst, because your intuition is a very important part of who you are, and it is an important part of decision making, group number 2. And one thing that modern society kind of teaches us is to steer away from making decisions intuitively. So we may have lost our ability to just trust ourselves and our intuition and not feel like we have to justify why we're making certain choices. So I do see here in the Moon, group number 2, that you need to hear from the universe, from me, from your guides, that it's okay to not justify why you're making certain decisions, and to just make your choices based on what feels right, and not listen to anyone who is trying to convince you otherwise, but to go with what you feel deep inside truly resonates with your purpose and resonates with your vibration. Next up, we have the Three of Swords. So group number 2 in the Three of Swords, I do see here that there may be some unexpected backstabbing that's going to impact your life. So unexpected in the sense of you following your intuition, you facing your true north, and someone who you thought would have your back 100% or who would be in full support is not doing so at all. So this could be, for example, a friend who is supposedly a best friend, and you're posting things that show your success, and they can't even like the photos. They can't even comment. They can't even send you a text, even a phone call. I mean, that's too much to ask of like a phony friend anyways, as you may know, group number 2. So I can definitely see here in the Three of Swords that you're coming to a realization that the more successful you get, it's kind of like the more lonely it can get, if you will, because you haven't quite gotten to this point where you're so successful that you're in this completely different area code where you're flooded by other individuals who are just as successful. You're in this in-between spot where you're cutting ties with people and vibrations that are holding you back, and you're not quite in the place where you found your tribe of other people who are just happy to be around your success and who are happy for you and who are successful themselves. So group number 2, I can definitely see here that, this is a time that is difficult for you to stem, but at the same time, look at it from the perspective of finally knowing for sure who is there for you and who isn't. And then take time with the people who have been with you through thick and thin, even if the group of people that you have is a lot smaller. Next up, we have the Strength card, group number 2, which just fits so beautifully into your reading. The universe is speaking very clearly into your reading, group number 2. So this is a wise choice for you to have made in conjunction with the Amethyst and the Starseed Oracle deck, because in the Strength card, I can truly see here that this is a time where it seems like your strength is being tested, and where it seems like you have to stand up for yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and to be unafraid to connect with new people as well. That's one thing that I see here in the Three of Coins, the Three of Pentacles. In the Three of Pentacles, I can see here that it's all about finding the right group of people who understand what you're going through and who have gone through similar things. So rather than feeling alone, one thing that I can see here is that connecting with a similar like-minded group of people is what will help you out of any type of dark phase or dark moment, group number 2. Trust me, there is like a support group or forum where you can read up on similar stories and find support for every topic, okay? Whether it be narcissistic parents, friends, whether it be, for example, feeling alone at your workplace and having coworkers who are just bullies, there are supportive places and groups for everything. You just need to look for them, okay? You just need to use your resources to gain access. So resources meaning time, resources meaning sometimes even investing a little bit of money to, for example, listen to an ebook or purchase a book where you can gain great tips on how to deal with these difficult situations. Next up, we have the castle. So remind yourself, group number 2, it is now time for healing, not war. It is time for you to find a way to live with situations in your life that aren't perfect, but nevertheless are unavoidable when you're going through phases of growth, and to not be at war with people or with yourself, but to find peace and to find a way how you can still support yourself. I can see here in morning group number 2 that the best place for you to start is at your morning routine. How do you start your morning group number 2? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel motivated to get up, or are you already tired? Do you hit the snooze button like 10 times before you actually get up? And then are you just in a rush for the rest of your morning? That is one thing that the universe wants you to ask yourself and to look at in the most kind of precise and authentic way. Don't be too shy to admit to yourself if your morning routine could really use some improvements and could really use you putting a bit more effort into it in order to start the day on the right note. Next up, we have the human. So I can see here in the human that it is essential for you to not be so hard on yourself and to remind yourself that often as human beings, we feel like we have to fit into this society that was built around advertising, built around monetary gain, when as living beings, we're a lot simpler than we would like to admit to ourselves. So remember that. Remember that if you have shelter, food, if you're just in a good place physically, that is something that can help you feel good mentally, if you allow yourself to. But of course, if you spend a lot of time on social media, or you spend a lot of time in a place where you're surrounded by toxic messages or advertising, that will impact you in a way that takes away the simplicity. Next up, we have the red salmon, group number 2. In the red salmon, I can see here that the universe is calling you to navigate your life with determination, okay? Be determined to make the best out of whatever impact that someone may have on your life. It could either be an impact of pushing you away from them, finding a new group or circle of friends. It could be an impact of someone really inspiring you to chase your dreams and to face your true north. Allow yourself to embrace any type of impact that a situation or another person may bring with them, and with the determination to use the impact in the most positive way and to use it in order to learn and to grow, you're going to see yourself taking a lot bigger steps forward, as well as going through life with more ease, as well as more satisfaction and content in yourself and your life, as well as your surroundings. Now, group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you feel better after watching this video than when you clicked onto it, then leave a little seashell emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading. Also, ensure that you are subscribed to my channel in order to never miss another video that is relevant to your life. Group number 2, thank you so much for spending this divine time with me, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite in conjunction to the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. So let me get you acquainted with the crystal of your choice. This is what it looks like. This is the orange calcite. This is a really beautiful stone that brings energy to you when you feel lethargic or you're feeling kind of down. It brings warmth as well as nurturing type of vibrations. So you chose the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, which for any of you who are new, this is my very own tarot deck. This is the magnetic box that it comes in. It also comes with a guidebook, of course, where I explain every single card, upright as well as reversed. So if you want to learn the tarot, this is a great starting point. I have also developed a masterclass where I teach you everything that I know about tarot, how to read the tarot, as well as how to turn it into a career. So if you would like to invest in yourself by learning the tarot, I will leave that linked down below. But let's move into your reading in order to figure figure out exactly what is going to impact your life next. So first and foremost, we have the Page of Cups. Now, group number 3 in the Page of Cups, one thing that I can see here is that your emotional life and your emotional well-being is going to be impacted by you having new, fresh ideas and not being attached to any type of conservative mannerisms or approaches that in the past you may have felt like you have to adhere to. So for example, if in the past you felt like you had to have a certain education to go certain places in life, or you may have felt that you already had to have come from financial wealth in order to continue cultivating that throughout your life, I can see here in the Page of Cups that you're no longer believing those tales and you're 100% trusting in you having the ability to create the life that you desire, group number 3. I can see here in the Tower reversed in conjunction to the Page of Cups that instead of a more fatalistic worldview, you're now seeing the glasses half full rather than half empty. So in the past, you may have thought in conjunction to the Tower that you coming from a certain background or maybe not going to the best school that there is out there or studying a certain topic, that would leave you in a situation that is less fortunate than you would like. But I can see here in the Tower reversed that instead of seeing that as a negative or seeing that as a challenge, you are understanding that the fact that you maybe had to work harder to get to certain places means that you're more confident in your abilities, as well as the fact that you are street smart. You're not just book smart, but you're also street smart. And that is something that no book can teach you. That is an invaluable skill in life that you really only learn if you've been through difficult times or if you've had to prove yourself during situations that were challenging and maybe even unfair. So I can definitely see here in the Tower reversed as well as the Page of Cups that you're finally realizing that what you thought was making life difficult or what you thought was a setback for you is actually in a sense a blessing. Next up, we have the Three of Diamonds reversed. Now group number 3, I can see here in the Three of Diamonds reversed that financial bounty and abundance is something that comes to you as soon as you allow yourself to internalize this mindset of understanding that your biggest disadvantages or the things that people may have made fun of you for are actually the things that make you unique. Those are actually the things that you can capitalize off of. So just like, for example, I was always made fun of for being different, especially in school. Now that is my entire existence. That is what people look up to me for. That is why I get DMs on Instagram from people telling me, wow, thank you so much for inspiring me to be myself, even if it is unconventional. So I do see here in the Three of Diamonds reversed, group number 3, that your time is coming, but it is important for you to stick to your truth, stick to your guns, and remind yourself that what you thought were your biggest weaknesses are actually your biggest natural advantages. You just have to go to a place where people love you and where people recognize that. And if that place doesn't exist, create your niche. My channel is the best example for that. Next up, we have the Empress. Now, group number 3 in the Empress, I can definitely see here that on a scale of attractiveness, okay, your attractiveness is going up. You have the next glow up that's coming for you, group number 3, but you have to invest in yourself. So invest in yourself, meaning taking good care of yourself. For example, taking long baths, massaging yourself, giving yourself facials and at-home spa treatments, and just in general, spending time cultivating self-love is going to radiate from the inside out. And you will be surprised at how your mood does actually change you physically. It does actually physically change what your skin looks like or how other people perceive you to be energetically. So I do want you to know here in the Empress as well that right now is a time of fertility for you. So if you're looking to bring another life into your existence, and this is a good time, group number 3. But if you're by no means looking to have children in your life or anywhere near you, then take necessary precautions, because you definitely owe it to yourself or any future children to feel ready and excited to be welcoming new life into your existence. So make sure that you're always coming from a standpoint of wanting something rather than feeling like there's no other way out. So make sure that you're embracing the standpoint of understanding that it's your choice, and if you don't want something in your life or you don't think it's the right time for you, that doesn't make you any less of a man, woman, or just human being in general. Next up, we have the Four of Diamonds reversed. So in the Four of Diamonds reversed, group number 3, I can see here that any tough financial times are coming to an ending. That's why the Four of Diamonds has showed up reversed. So invest in yourself. Invest in things that make sense to invest in, okay? Don't be cheap on yourself when it comes to education. So reading books, for example, listening to podcasts or ebooks, invest in those type of things that can make you a lot of money down the line. Learning new skills, like for example, learning the tarot, learning how to create pottery, learning how to crochet. If that's something that you can see yourself doing in the future, or you feel like that is a life skill that might inspire you to take something else on, invest in yourself. For example, when it came to me creating my online course, what really gave me that much needed push to finish it off, because there's so many different aspects and classes in it, was, for example, embarking on my yoga teacher training. It is something completely unrelated. It was an expensive investment, but it was an investment in myself. It wasn't a shallow investment like buying an outfit or a bag or a pair of shoes or investing in something to up a vehicle. You know, it wasn't anything like that. It was an investment in myself and an investment in my business. So I can see here in the Four of Diamonds that you're being called to see it in the same light, group number 3, invest in yourself. Next up, we have the Sun reversed. So even though this card is showing up reversed for you, group number 3, it is still a highly favorable card in the tarot, and it does speak of you allowing yourself to have fun and allowing yourself to embrace things that make you feel good. Even if you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be spending money on that. Sure, if it is, for example, an item of clothing, no, you should not be spending money on that right now, group number 3. But if it is an investment in yourself, if it is an investment that may pay itself back tenfold, it makes sense for you to spend time, effort, and money learning something new and getting into something that you would otherwise maybe think, I don't really know if I should spend money on it. Investing in yourself is something you should never cheap out on, group number 3, and it will impact your life in the most amazing way. Next up, we have receive with love and appreciation. So I do see here in receiving with love and appreciation that accepting things in a gracious way is essential, and you have to stop feeling bad when someone offers to help or when someone offers to do something for you for free, group number 3, okay? If someone is offering to give you something or do something for you, they want to do that, so just graciously accept and remind yourself that this is all a part of investing in yourself, okay? When you love yourself, when you're invested in your career and your success, anyone who is there helping you and voluntarily wanting to help you along the way is going to be someone who you listen to and who you allow to give you a helping hand. Don't allow ego to poison a situation or to make a situation something that it's not, because often that is the root of why we don't want anyone to help us, because we have an ego about it, or we feel a sense of pride, like it means that we're kind of inferior if we accept help from another person. So it's best to just not accept help. That is what culturally a lot of us have been taught. So I do see here in receiving with love and appreciation and doing so in a grateful way that that is not going to impact you just in a moment or just for a given instance. Learning to just accept help graciously is something that you need in order to become as successful as you possibly can, group number 3. Next up, we have simple acts of kindness. Think about it, group number 3. You can just give people simple acts of kindness in return, because this will not only energize you, but it will also make you feel like you're not just accepting free handouts. You are putting energy and effort back into the relationship. And I know reciprocity is a big thing. And I know that especially for you natural empaths, it can be very hard to accept because you're more used to giving. And if that is something that resonates with you, if you feel like I just hit the nail on the head when describing how you feel about give and take and reciprocity, then know here that simple acts of kindness throughout a relationship is enough for you to just show how appreciative that you are of another person, or an act of kindness or generosity that they displayed for you. It could be, for example, remembering to wish them an amazing week, or remembering their birthday, sending them a little card. It doesn't have to be anything big or lavish or expensive. Most people, especially those who want to help you from a good place, they're just happy with hearing from you and seeing your progress and being a part of your success in any way that they can. Next up, we have doing something for someone. So one thing that I can see here is that giving your attention to another human being or animal and nurturing it is much needed right now. So if you have pets and they've been in need for some more attention, love, or care, this is your cue, group number 3. This is your sign from your guides to put aside a day, a few days to intensively bond with another living being. If you feel as though you haven't had time to bond with a sibling or a child, maybe you are a parent, I do want you to know here, in doing something for someone, that it's important for you to spend that undivided attention with other people and to just give them that time that they're craving, because a lot of people wish that they had your recognition, and when you're very busy with work or with your own life, it can be hard to give undivided attention where you're not checking your phone or constantly on ready to receive a call. Next up, we have slow down. So group number 3, this just goes in so beautifully with what we spoke about and spending undivided time and attention with another living being. Pause and allow things to unfold. Stop feeling like you have to be in control of everything. Stop feeling like it is your duty to be on go, go, go all the time, or to constantly allow people to have access to your energy, okay? It is not your job to allow other people to have access to you constantly or permanently. It is your job to make yourself feel good and to make yourself feel energized in life. Next up, we have lavender. Now, group number 3, in lavender, I can see here that surrounding yourself with people who understand that and who just want to spend some time chilling and actually spending time doing self-care and self-love with you, that is something that is important. That is something that will re-energize you and that will show you that slowing down doesn't have to be something that you just do alone or selfishly. You can do this with like-minded people. Then we have the library. So in the library, I can see here that taking control of your own narrative of your life is something that you have to learn and is something that will impact you in the most positive way, group number 3, because looking at, for example, hustle culture, spending literally any time just chilling, just doing what you want to do, it can feel bad, right? It can feel like you're doing something that's almost forbidden. So I do want you to know here in the library that when you take control of your own narrative and you say to yourself, no, taking care of myself and taking time for myself, that is actually the best thing that I can do, not just for me, but for this world, for my work, for my love life, then you turn it into something positive and something that becomes so much more enjoyable. Because of course, actually engaging in taking time for yourself and in self-care is something that you try to avoid or you don't fully enjoy if you always feel guilty about it. So that is where I see in the library that in order to impact yourself in a simple, effective, cheap, yet super big way is to allow yourself to take control of your own narrative and to not let society dictate or decide what the narrative is when you're taking time for yourself and when you're accepting help from other people. Next up, we have the 4 of Wands. So we are truly ending your reading on a very positive note. The 4 of Wands stands for gifts, stands for receiving. So group number 3, I can definitely see here that a gift from someone is going to affect affect you and impact your life in the most amazing way, and you have to accept it. So this gift could be a big piece of advice, a big help. For example, if you're setting up your own business, any type of advice from someone who's already done it can be the biggest gift that they could give you, because they're not just giving you something that has monetary value or an item, they're actually giving you something that can make you money forever. So that is where I see here in the Four of Wands that you're receiving a huge gift that will continue to give and that will continue to impact you in a positive way. So be prepared to accept it, group number 3, and be prepared to put any type of ego or pride aside, because it has no place in your life right now. So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little cat emoji down below in the comment section if it resonated, as well as feel free to let me know what really hit home. I would just like to thank you for spending this divine time with me. And if this video made you feel better, if this video made your day in any way, shape, or form more enjoyable, make sure that you subscribe to my channel to never miss out on another reading or another piece of content that serves you. So group number 3, know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you in another one of my videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the black tourmaline in conjunction to the daily crystal oracle deck. So let me get you acquainted with your crystal. So this is the stone that you chose. The black tourmaline is a really protective stone. It may seem intimidating at first, but this black tourmaline actually helps absorb any type of negative energies that you may want to get rid of, and that may be exactly why you felt drawn to it, group number 4. So let's move into your reading using the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck first. Let's see exactly what's going to impact your life next. First and foremost, we have the chrysoprase. So group number 4, in the chrysoprase, I can see here that allowing yourself to receive is what's going to impact your life next. So allowing yourself to receive help, allowing yourself to receive financial aid or emotional support, that is something that will affect you and impact your life next. I can see here in the bloodstone that it will allow you to finally let go of feeling guilty and finally let go of feeling like a burden as soon as you allow yourself to receive. So you're not just receiving or taking something because you have to or because you don't want to turn it down, but you're actually allowing yourself to receive goodness from other people in this world. I can see here in the agate that brings things back into balance. So group number 4, if you are guilty of always giving and never wanting to receive, or always being there for other people, but never kind of expecting others to be there for you when you need them, I do want you to know here in the agate that is something that creates a big imbalance, and it's something that will not be able to go on forever, which is most likely why the chrysoprase showed up, as well as the bloodstone, as the two very first crystals within your reading, group number 4. So getting back into balance is something that is going to impact you next, and is something that is kind of like way overdue for you, group number 4. So allow yourself to lean back and to be on the receiving end. Next up, we have the King of Wands. So in the King of Wands, group number 4, not trying to call you out, but there can be a little bit of pride involved, and there can be a little bit of this attitude of if I want something done well, I'll do it myself. So you having maybe asked for help in the past, or having partnered up with other people on a project in the past, be it at work or at school, and you come to this realization that they don't put as much heart or effort into the project as you would. So you come to this understanding that if you want something done well, you'll just do it yourself, which has turned you into someone who tries to be everywhere and do everything at once. I can see here in the Lovers that this also affects your romantic life, group number 4. So if you're someone who is always trying to please their partner, both romantically as well as when it comes to, just household chores and things like that, you always put in more work than you probably should, maybe also too early into relationships. So think that saying of not doing wifey or husband things if you're just a girlfriend or a boyfriend. That is where I want you to know here in the Lovers in conjunction to the King of Wands and the remaining crystals that showed up in your reading. You have to refrain from doing that, and you have to keep in mind here that while you're a strong giving person, you should not be expected to always be the one giving and for everybody to be on the receiving end, okay? You can be on the receiving end as well, and you should be, group number 4. Start normalizing that. I can see here in the Queen of Swords, group number 4, that you have to speak up. The Queen of Swords is the queen of air signs. So think Aquarius, Libra, as well as Gemini energy. Those are the air signs. Those are the ones that can say what they want, who can be pretty cutthroat. And in the Queen of Swords, I can see here that you are meant to embrace that type of energy now fully and wholly, group number 4, okay? Stop trying to avoid just saying what you want and what you need. Be honest with the people around you, and also be prepared to voice if a relationship in your life has been very one-sided or very unfair for a long time and you want it to change. There's nothing wrong with changing now. Next up, we have the Knight of Wands. So in the Knight of Wands, group number 4, I can see here that you may have to take action, or you may have to actually, in a way, not force someone into change, but kind of say to someone, look, if I don't get my needs met or fulfilled in this relationship, then I am not going to fulfill all of your needs either, okay? So drawing a line and setting boundaries, whether that be with parents who just feel like they can just take and never need to give anything because they guilt trip you by saying, well, they gave birth to you or they gave up everything for you. You know, they chose to be parents. You didn't tell them to be parents. It is their responsibility to meet your needs, not for you to meet their needs. That is them parentifying you. That is them gaslighting you. That is toxic behavior. And the same goes for relationships, group number 4. It is not what you signed up to be in a relationship with another human being just to fulfill their needs and to never have your needs fulfilled or even ignored. So I do see here that opening up your mouth, being real about what you want, as well as setting those boundaries, that's going to have a huge impact on your life. That is going to have an impact that you didn't expect, but it is one that's going to level out the playing field and bring things back into balance. Next, we have the Amethyst. So in the Amethyst, group number 4, trust your gut, trust your intuition, because some people may actually reveal themselves as being narcissists, okay, as being people who maybe border on having a personality disorder. Now, I'm not telling you to go around diagnosing people, group number 4, not by any means, but you may start to realize that people care a lot less about you or other people than they do about themselves, and that when you're surrounded by people who are not empaths and who care a lot more about their own well-being than anyone else, or anyone whose well-being they may be affecting both negatively or positively, that you have to be careful. Because when you are an emotionally sensitive person, when you are an empath, you have to learn to protect yourself, and you have to remind yourself that not everybody thinks the way you do, and not everybody cares if they hurt another human being. So you have to protect yourself from that type of energy and those type of people, which is something that ties in the most amazing way with you choosing the black tourmaline, because as mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is the stone of protection. This is the stone of eliminating unwanted energies and any type of energy vampires that may have crept into your life out of your life, okay? Eliminate those negative entities, group number 4. Next up, we have the Amazonite. So in the Amazonite, you have to loosen your grip, and you have to make sure that you loosen other people's grip on you. You know those narcissistic, toxic parents that I was talking about earlier, the narcissistic, toxic friends that I was mentioning? You have to make sure that you not just loosen your grip when it comes to feeling attached to those people, but if you feel them kind of like gripping onto your shoulder, holding onto you in this kind of like way that is scary, that doesn't feel right, where you feel like you're constantly guilt tripped into saying that their behavior is okay and normalizing their toxicity, you have to make sure that you loosen their grip. That you have to cut through that web of lies, the gaslighting, the emotional ties that you may have to those people, and remind yourself that you have the right to put yourself first. And this this is your time, group number 4, and you have to impact your life in a positive way because other people aren't going to be doing it for you. So you have to make these decisions to loosen other people's holds on your life so that you can live the way you've truly always wanted to live. Next up, we have a spiritual connection. So group number 4, in the spiritual connection, I can see here that there's a relationship that is in your life or coming into your life that has a connection that goes beyond this very lifetime. So a connection that you feel has been there before. Okay, how do I explain this in a way that is very easy to understand? Have you ever met someone, group number 4, and you felt like you could have been friends with this person for centuries before actually ever meeting them? You feel like you already know them, you feel like you already vibe, and you feel like you've known this person forever, even though the connection was just established. This is a type of spiritual connection that I mean, and this doesn't only have to apply to another human being that comes in the form of flesh and bones. This can be a spiritual connection with your guides, with your spirits, okay? No matter what religion or belief that you have, no matter what type of philosophy that you follow, I do want you to know here in the spiritual connection that when you find that guide or that energetic frequency that is meant for you, it's going to feel like this is home. It's going to feel like this is a connection that goes beyond this lifetime. It feels very familiar and at home immediately, and you may feel this during meditation or during self-reflection where you feel like there's energy around you that is so familiar and feels so much like home. But it could also be something that stretches into the future, that you know you don't have to be afraid of what is to come in the future because you have this spiritual connection to this higher realm. You have a spiritual connection to your guides and the universe, and you don't have to fear for what is to come in the future because you know that that connection is something that is going to guide you and support you and is going to outlive this lifetime that you have in this very body, in this very existence that you're in right now. Next up, we have physical touch. Now, group number 4 in physical touch, I can see here that being a little bit more comfortable with physical touch is something that will impact you positively and give you more confidence. If you're someone who doesn't like to be touched or doesn't like to touch other people, I totally get you, group number 4, been there. But I do want you to know here that getting comfortable with physical touch is something that is important and something that makes us humans feel very much like we're safe, like we're secure. So allowing yourself to be comfortable in the presence of physical touch with a group of people who you trust is something that will deepen and strengthen those relationships. And by physical touch, it doesn't have to be romantic, okay? It doesn't have to be physical touch as in being together in a sensual way. I mean physical touch by just, for example, touching someone's arm, brushing someone's arm or someone's shoulder if they're feeling sad, you know, just grabbing their shoulder, looking them in the eye and telling them it's going to be okay. It makes such a difference whether you add physical touch to that action and whether you add physical touch to show another person that you're supporting them, or if you were to just, you know, plainly say to them, hey, I'm here for you, I'm supportive. When you add holding someone's hand and looking in their eye rather than just looking them in the eye, it just adds so much more power and energy, and you are quite literally transferring your energy via touch to another person. So use that to support people, and know that you don't always need to talk in order to be supportive of another person. Sometimes all that someone needs is that energetic exchange through a hug, through holding someone's shoulder, their hand, or just sitting close to them. Next up, we have gold. So in gold, I can see here that group number 4, what is going to impact your life is coming to the realization that you don't need anyone else to fix you. You don't need anyone to tell you your self-worth. You determine how valuable you are. You determine your self-worth. And group number 4, let me tell you, you are invaluable. And if you believe anything less than that, then you still have work to do, group number 4, and you still need to accept yourself more. You still need to remind yourself more of how special that you are and how worthy you are of the amazing things that life has to offer, and that it's okay for you to sometimes put yourself first and to just enjoy everything that this earthly existence has to offer you. You don't need someone to fix you. You don't need someone else to tell you how amazing that you are. You can tell yourself, and that be enough, and that be all the validation that you need. It's even better if you know that that's all the validation that you need, because then you're not depending on someone else's acceptance in order to feel good about yourself. Then last but not least, we have homeward. Group number 4 in homeward, I can see here that taking yourself out on a date will impact you in the most positive, progressive way possible. Take yourself out on a date in nature, for example. Give yourself a nice cup of tea, a nice cup of coffee. I know that's what I'm going to do. As soon as we're done this reading, I'm going to give myself a little date, a little recuperation, and I urge you to do the same, group number 4. I actually challenge you to, down below in the comment section, instead of leaving an emoji like we usually do in these readings, tell me what type of date that you're taking yourself on. Tell me exactly what you're going to do after you have finished this reading, this video, in order to make yourself feel good, in order to remind yourself that you're whole, you're complete, and you're deserving of your time, effort, and care. Tell me down below what you're doing. Share that. Now, group number 4, we're at the end of your reading, and I really hope that this reading resonated and that you feel more healed and content at this point of the video compared to when we began. So group number 4, know that I'm sending you so much love as well as care. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel to never miss another reading or to never miss another video where I give you advice or healing content. It's free, it's easy, and I would just like to thank you so much for spending this divine time with me, and I can't wait to see you during another one of my videos.